Finish line push. I'm Jeff Stein with today's Iowa Politics Report. The Iowa legislative session came to a close shortly before midnight Wednesday, and many woke up Thursday morning surprised about a couple of bills that were pushed through in the last hours and quickly signed by the governor. Now, you have to go back a ways to find a time when a governor held a midnight bill signing ceremony, but it happened very early yesterday morning. A bill that in part codified what the Attorney General had suggested earlier, namely that no local government could put a more stringent mask mandate in place than was the case under state order. Now, this law was even broader. It included school districts, and that led to a scramble Thursday morning as schools had to send alerts to parents saying they could no longer legally require masks and that masks were now optional. But then there's the federal bus mandate, still requiring masks on any buses. At least that's the Waterloo School's interpretation. Well, again, the interesting part of the bill was not only that it went into effect immediately upon the governor's signature, but that she signed it literally as the ink on the paper was drying. And that made it far harder for a court challenge to be filed temporarily stopping implementation of the law, since schools had already removed the masks before the courthouses had even opened. It also took away one of the arguments opponents would have used in court regarding potential harm to individuals if the law went into effect. And while the legislature passed changes to Iowa's voting laws earlier this session, there was a separate law passed in the final hours, changing the rules for absentee ballots. Again, that's one that will lead the heads of those on the left to explode. But as noted in recent weeks, Iowa voters gave Republicans an even bigger majority in the legislature in the last election, so it's not inappropriate to think that they view the results as a mandate, or at the very least a vote of support for their campaign promises, and failure to act would be held against them in the next election. So those out of power are not happy, but as we all well know, elections have consequences. That's the Iowa Politics Report for Friday, May 21 on Twitter, Instagram, and Parler at Iowa Politics. I'm Jeff Stein on News Talk 1540 KXEL.